Hello friends, my name is Ramasu. Today we shall discuss about topic the scaling frameworks for Scrum. Today's topic is very interesting, especially if you have interest in project management, software development and Scrum. So let's start friend. First of all, we have to understand that what is actually a Scrum. A Scrum is basically agile based methodology which we use for software based projects, for managing those projects, and it is the approach in which we divide the work into multiple chunks. In each chunk contains the planning, development, testing and deployment, and when we deliver the work to the customer, the sprint will complete it and we have a product increment at the end of the each sprint. Now, friend, we know that Scrum is nowadays very common in many organizations. They are using it properly and appropriately. However, when we talk about scaling framework, scaling means that to implement the Scrum to the large organization. Large organization means that normally or generally we use Scrum in which like 8 to 10 team members are there generally. However, if you are working on such projects or such organizations where around, for example, 50 team members are there or 100 team members are there, and you have to implement the Scrum there, Scrum method framework there. So, how we will use the Scrum framework in large organizations or large or complex projects where team members are around 100 team members are there or 50 team members are there. So what is the structure we can use and how we can coordinate multiple Scrum teams working together to deliver a large product or project there in their case. So nowadays many frameworks are available or approaches are available through which we can basically implement the Scrum for large organizations or complex projects. So first one is the Scrum of a Scrum or SOS. Friend, a Scrum of Scrum is basically an informal approach to scaling Scrum. It is typically applied when multiple Scrum teams are working on the same product or project. For example, friend, let's assume that we have 5 teams are working on a project, okay, or a product, and each team is unique, like they have their own representative, they have their own like progress issues identification, cross team impediments, and they have their own goals actually. However, but they all are working on a single product or on the same product or a project. So what we can do, like one representative from each team who can be a scrum master or any other team member as well, who can participate in a meeting that is called as a scrum of scrum. A scrum of scrum is basically a meeting in which representative from each team member will participate, and they basically discuss brief the daily things which are going on. Each team continues to conduct its own daily scrum, okay, and manages its own backlog independently. However, the scrum of scrum is basically a meeting in which when the representative from the team member, they basically participate, they discuss their thoughts, issues, problems, so everyone knows that actually what's going on. Say they have the visibility, or maybe it's also possible that one team member can help to the other team member as well. Then next is the less or large scale scrum. Here, friend, less is an agile based approach or framework that extends the principles of Scrum to large scale development. Okay, again, the main focus here that to implement a Scrum on the large organization. So it focus on the simplifying and streamlining the application of a Scrum across multiple teams. Less comes in two flavors. First one for 8 teams, okay, where teams are eight number of teams, and less huge as well for more than 8 teams, okay. So either you can use for 8 teams or more than 8 teams. So single product backlog and product owner for all team members are there. Coordinated sprint reviews where each team presents its work in the context of the overall product. Emphasize on reducing the organizational complexity here as well. Again, the large scale scrum is basically we use for the organizations where number of teams are huge. Obviously you can imagine normally we have one team for a project generally. However, if you can imagine that if there are 8 teams are working, okay, Obviously, if there are 8 teams are working, so you can imagine that how much the size of the project for which 8 teams are working, and how much it will be complex to manage those teams. Then safe scaled agile framework. SAF is basically a comprehensive framework that extends the Scrum to the enterprise level. It provides a structured approach for organizations to scale agile principles and practices across multiple teams, business units, and even enterprise as well. There are 3 levels of planning in this SAF. First one is the portfolio, program, and team. And there are few roles as well, like release train engineer, product owner, and a scrum master. Here you can notice that one role is new, that is release train engineer. Either the other one, like product owner and a scrum master, they are the previous roles as well, which are basically already available present in the Scrum framework. So regular program increment planning typically spanning 8 to 12 weeks. Okay, so here again you will notice that the planning is basically of spanning to 8 to 12 week, which is a huge number in the Scrum as well. Then friend, another framework is Nexus. Nexus is basically the framework developed by scrum.org specifically for scaling Scrum. It focuses on the integration of work from multiple Scrum teams to deliver a single integrated product. Nexus provides additional roles and events to address scaling challenges while preserving the core Scrum framework here as well. Friend, the Nexus integration teams to facilitate cross-team coordination and resolve dependencies. Nexus Sprint Review, which includes representative from each team presenting their work on the integrated product as well. Here basically friend, we know that Scrum is very popular and getting attention day by day, and many organizations are moving towards the Scrum framework. However, many organizations, especially software houses, are using Scrum framework when the projects are simple and not very complex. However, nowadays many frameworks are available which through which you can implement this Scrum for large scale or complex projects as well. Then Scrum at scale, that is overview. Scrum at a scale is developed by Jeff Sutherland. He is basically the co-creator of the Scrum. It is designed to scale Scrum across an entire organization by leveraging the principles of Scrum at multiple levels. The framework is modular, allowing organizations to scale incrementally based on their unique needs. Scalable Scrum through a network of teams acting as a building block, cross-team coordination facilitated by the Meta Scrum, a Scrum of Scrum at the scale of the organization. Friend, when implementing a scaling framework, organizations need to assess their specific context, organizational structure, and goals to choose the most appropriate framework. It's crucial to tailor the chosen framework to align with the organization's needs while maintaining the agile and Scrum principles of flexibility, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Thank you.